take me through the early days of how you got started, because there are a lot of people, both in the audience and who we work with, who are in the startup area, and they love to hear from those who've done it, what they've learned and what they had to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. The story is that I was working at the Good Food Institute, and I was interacting with a lot of people in our space, right? And one of the things that I did at some point was I went into Hampton Creek to do a tour there and just meet some of the team. And that was, I guess, that was Thomas and my meet cute. It was the first time we really met. He served my team, I forget what it was. I think he cooked us up the Just Egg. It was just coming out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we chatted, and it was just a normal conversation, and we parted ways. And then actually maybe like a year after that, a friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to meet the most talented product developer in the United States?" Because he knew that I was interested in starting a company in the space. I was very transparent with everyone, including at the Good Food Institute, that my end goal was to start a company. The Good Food Institute, first, was an amazing place to learn the industry, and second, amazing place to make an impact immediately while I figured out.
I have a lot of respect for the Good Food Institute.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it was great to be able to make that impact and work in the industry while I figure out where I can make the biggest impact. And anyways, my friend came to me. He said, "Hey, you want to meet this guy? He's incredibly talented." I don't know what he said to him, but I guess Thomas wanted to meet me as well. And we kind of got set up on like a blind date almost. And we sat down and we talked and said, "Hey, what do you think about this idea of going and creating products that we really can believe in and we really can get out to the world?" And Thomas said, "Yeah, I mean, I think that is absolutely a huge opportunity." He is basically an emulsion genius, master, right? Because working on the mayonnaise and the dressing, those are all emulsions. And what is dairy if not an emulsion? And so he said, let's do this. Like, I think we can do this. And so we got together and we started working on it, on the project. And the story of how everything kind of accelerated is actually, it's a great story. So we decided it was late submission, like 2 days before the last day to submit to Y Combinator, which is the most prestigious tech accelerator in the world. And we said, let's do this. Like, let's just apply. And in the application, we listed our idea, which was really the Beyond Meat or Impossible Foods of dairy. And we said that we had created a prototype of sour cream, which was indistinguishable from dairy. So it was a big claim, and it was not necessarily indistinguishable at the time. It was really good, but it was still, we had worked on it for about a few weeks, so it was not perfect. And so they accepted us to interview, and they invited us in to interview, and we did what Thomas does best, and we plated up this beautiful spread with the sour cream, and we put our sour cream next to Daisy, which is the best-selling sour cream in the U.S., next to Tofuti. And we had all of the panelists taste it and do the blind taste test right in front of us and tell us what they thought. And two out of the four were convinced that ours was the dairy. One out of the four knew that ours was not. And then the fourth was just like, what is going on here? Just too confused. But later that day, we got a call that said, "Hey guys, we want you to join Y Combinator, come be part of this program." And the rest is history, because once we got into that program, then it really allowed us to get in front of the right people. Like Alexis Ohanian, he actually was a partner in Y Combinator back in the day, and he's in that network. And from there, things just kind of almost like lifted themselves, I think, with the excitement of plant-based and honestly, the quality of the product.
Gotcha. So get into Y Combinator, and the rest is history. And make sure you have a good spread when you interview.
I think so. Thank you for calling that out because that's not very relatable advice. I think the real advice here is that investors love tasting amazing food because there's nothing more tangible than actually tasting a product and saying, okay, I can imagine this succeeding because I literally just tasted this, and all this requires, if it's an investor that is thinking long term, all this requires is for this company to execute and scale. And of course, those are very difficult things. But if you have founders that you believe in and the product is amazing, then it's just a matter of how do we get the right resources in place to make this happen. And so that would be my piece of advice: is just create amazing products, and I think then things will fall into place.
Yeah, and of course there are so many great accelerators now. Obviously, Y Combinator is well known, but you've got at least a couple dozen I can think of throughout the country, and they typically run these boot camps and have people who've been through it, people who have money to invest. So I think for others who are looking for that, there are many available. I'm sure the Good Food Institute probably has a list of them on their website, would be my guess.